Hi everyone, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Melissa Langridge. I'm one of your NU reference librarians, but specifically the Ontario librarian that is dedicated to your program. So if you ever need assistance, please by all means do not hesitate to contact me, and let's get started today. What we're going to learn is a couple of things that students always ask me about, so I thought that we would start here today. By all means, you are expected to have your own questions. So please send me an email. I'll leave that at the end of the video, and do not hesitate to contact me. Enjoy. There are many ways to do this. So if you go to Journals A to Z, you can search for specific titles of journals. That means that you're searching in the right source that you're looking for. So in this example is Canadian Food Studies, and NU Library doesn't actually subscribe to it. So I'm going to show you an example of one we do have. This is the Journal of Educational Research. And you'll notice that we do have a few different titles, Brock Education, Journal of Educational Research. The other one's in Washington, D.C. So just double check which one you're looking for. I want the one that's from Washington, D.C. And then look at the dates. This one was from 1997 to present, so I want the most up-to-date information. And here, we're going to take a look at food insecurity in this title, see if any articles are related to it. And there's only one from 1997 that does have it within the text. So I just wanted to show you how you can search within a specific journal. So now we're going to go back to the library homepage. Go to the research guide under the research tab. All of the departments are listed in alphabetical order. So click on education, educational research. So in general, these are the best bets for education research, but under the teacher education program, I did make one for your specific course. So the first one that's listed, the database is Canadian Business and Current Affair Database, and it's going to have a lot of Canadian content. So I'm just going to do a very broad search. Food insecurity and learning, and see what happens. So you can't see the results, but there was I don't know why it's cut off. It was like 1,000, over 1,000. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to narrow by, I wish you could see this, scholarly journals and the date, no more than 10 years. And then I'm going to put quotes around food security. And based on what I learned by looking at the subject terms that are described in the good ones, I'm going to add and elementary, because that's what I'm interested in, is elementary school learning. And now we were down to 30 results. So I can start to take a look at these results that are given to me. And once you find a good one, a good title, go to Show Abstract, and you will see a summary of the article. This is your first start. Still perusing the results that were given to me. They're all very up to date. I'm interested in health grades and nutrition programs for kids in Canada. I think we're going to come back to that in a moment. Reproducing or reducing inequality, considerations for school food programs by the Canadian Journal of Dietetic Practice and Research. So let's take a look at that abstract. See, those are the subject terms that I'm talking about. After you look at the abstract, what's listed are the hashtags that make this article come up on the first page of results. You can use other terms. So I used food insecurity, but it's described also as food security. What are some other things that you could look at? Change your keywords to get better results. Okay, it's also looking at schools in Nova Scotia. So let's just hide the abstract one more time here. See what else we got there. Oh, school-based breakfast program specifically, a systematic review of gray literature. When was that? Oh, June 2017, though. So anything they cite in that lit review will be prior to June 2017. So therefore, it's not the newest information, It's not bad. It might give you ideas. But for the sake of example, I'm just going to show you how you click on full text PDF if you want to read more. Up in the upper right-hand corner, download the PDF. You can save it to your computer, but also cite. Notice how this APA 6th is the default, but we're actually on to APA 7th. I just used the basic version. They're still working on this, updating it, because I'm going to import it to Noodle Tools. So now I do recommend that you log into Noodle Tools first. We'll get into that in just a moment. I would just sign in here. But then I gotta go back and click the Cite button again. I know, I should edit. And then export to Noodle Tools. Continue. And now you'll notice, select the project that you want this citation in, font example, import references. Now I can go into Noodle Tools and the citation will be there as noted by that green bar at the top. So if I click on my project title, there's two sources and there's that one. It's a little bit darker. Let's see, edit. And they added all this information, but I want to make sure that it's correct. And we'll get into that in the last video. So here's what we're going to do. There's another Science Direct database listed on your guide. And I want you to look at this because it's in general scholarly journal articles that are in the social sciences. So not necessarily from Canada. So I'm going to put food insecurity in quotes, elementary, and Canada, not in quotes, just to see what articles they have related to this. Because it is covering a wealth of international topics. So I'm going to look at this information. When you find one that's interesting, look at the abstract to get the objectives, study design, methods. All original research articles are in this database. Take a look at the results. Now this is the same thing. If you have any PDF, I just look at these sections of the full text article to briefly identify if this is going to be useful to me. So I click on the article title, and here it is in the Journal of Public Health. And they give you like that brief introduction or overview in the beginning, like an executive summary, and then there's the entire full text article. So what I did was I'm searching within the text for different terms, and I wish that you could see the terms I'm looking for. But that one wasn't going to be useful because it didn't contain learning in it. So now I'm going to switch my keywords because that's what I really need here. So another way is do Control F or Command F to search for specific keywords to see within the text how much they talk about the topic of interest. So I'm still perusing just the articles here. I'm not finding a lot in this example today because I did this 2 days ago and I found a good amount of information in here. So I'm going to just click on this for the sake of example. I wanted to see though screening for, it's family practice nursing. That's not a good journal. Like that's not what you need. It's a good journal in nursing, but not in education. So it's talking about learning about food and nutrition, not learning outcomes in the elementary classroom. So that doesn't work. So look at your source, where the information is published in, what is the title as it relates to your keywords when you're searching within this bigger database, but also narrow because at least it's all scientific scholarly journal articles. This is in the Journal of Nutritional Behavior. Again, I don't think that's going to be perfect. So I'm doing a search on learning again, and it only comes up once in the conclusion. Not going to work. So I'm still just kind of looking because I'm failing miserably in this example for you, so bear with me. Collaborative Elementary Civics Curriculum. No. Journal of Social Studies Research. That's way too specific. So I looked for food insecurity and is not listed in here. And then learning. And that comes up 53 times, but it's not the right topic. So we don't want that article either. Oh boy, I'm getting in my head a little bit here. Now again, it's the Journal of like Nutrition and Dietetics, but I just want to show you for the sake of example what else you can do to narrow your search results. You can take a look at their sources that they have listed. And Science Direct's great because they actually give you the links. So this one can be found: Structural Racism and Health Inequalities, Old Issues, New Directions, from 2001. But it's giving me an idea of where I can go with this topic. What is food insecurity related to? So if you click on the full text at NU Library, all you do is click on the blue button, and then there it will link to the full text article. The other thing was the NIH.gov. It can also be found online, and you can use either of those. So students always ask, how do you know if it's appropriate to include? So now here's an article I found, Canadian Food Studies Journal. And this one, I found a really good article. It's called Beyond Health and Nutrition, Imagining the School Food Environment Through an Integrated Approach. It does have a volume and issue number. It says original research article. That's how you know Canadian Food Studies is a good journal. It is from page 48 to 71, and I think that's because it has the French translation in it as well. But yes, they are longer in length journal articles, and it's from November 2020. So these are all really good starts that this is something that I could use. The authors are from a university, so they don't have to put their PhDs. They don't have to list them because it's already assumed that they have them. But the corresponding author, you can also contact them if you have any questions, which is always flattering, of course. So look at the abstract, of course, to see if this is interesting. So one, this is in Ontario, Canada, and it takes a look at school food environments in 50 elementary and high schools in Ontario, Canada, actually. So that's promising. Other things here that looked good here. It's capture the food cultures within the schools, including policies, programs, and food practices. That sounds good because we need to look at policies. And also it tells you their research methodology, a structured questionnaire, and qualitative open-ended questions. So we found an article already that had, just in general the background, and this could have like participants' qualitative research or their perceptions, right? Here's some other keywords again listed. Every scholarly journal will have that, so you can use those if you'd like. And look at this, when I'm perusing the article a little bit more, Canada is currently the only G8 country without a national school food program. Really? A national school food? Really? Really? I think you can do better. Then, because I could go find that too, I searched policy, Control F or Command F, and Ontario, the school food and beverage policy, so there is one that I can look at, can be found on the Ontario Ministry of Education website. And it was published in 2010, Section 5. So there's the policy that I can also look at. And I'm not plagiarizing because I might take other information from it, right? But it's just standardizing it. It's an easy way to backtrack and find your research. So now I search for learning by doing Control F or Command F. Let's see, feeding children's views necessary, experiential learning. Okay, so it also talks about how students have to eat in order to learn, right? They can't be hungry. So this is a promising article, right? So we took a look at beyond the abstract, and now you can see why this is useful. And searching for this specific term, learning, will help me within that very long article get to the points that I need to look at, right? So now if I scroll to the bottom, I want to look at the discussion and the conclusion because, the methodology and things like that, I can get into once I've evaluated whether or not I'm going to use this. I think I am at this point, but I still take a look at the top of the article and the very bottom of the article when evaluating. So they're telling you that the authors, let's see, the dominant message of healthy eating, blah, blah, blah. It suggests that we do this author, and then it gives you the conclusion based on everything that they learned and limitations of this, so things that you could go study yourself. Increasing calls for the federal government's commitment to a national school food program. The results of the case study raise critical questions. What is the goal of a national school food program? Should the focus be on improving nutrition and health? Can we address the growing food insecurity in our schools? And they have this suggestions. So how do I cite accurately? This is where we're going to get into Noodle tools. So this, I found the article in Google Scholar, but it's also listed here on your page. But when you're citing, if you go to the home page in Educational Research in General, that's where you'll find the link to Noodle Tools. Just log in if you're off campus, which you all will be. If you don't already have an account, go ahead and register. Just fill out this form quickly. Leave the radio button, I am a student or library patron, the way it is. Don't touch it. And once you have your account, you can just log in. So I want to create a new project. In the upper right-hand corner is where you'll create a new source, new project, things like that. So project title, I'm going to call it Vaughn Example. And then you'll always cite an APA because that's your standard style in education. And I choose advanced. Junior's okay, but advanced gives me over 70 different options available. So once you have your project, click on the title to get into it. So again, in the upper right-hand corner is where you're going to select your new source. New project, new anything is the green button in the upper right-hand corner. Where is it? Google Scholar is actually a database of scholarly citations. But notice, and it's a journal because food studies, you'll see at the top, Canadian Food Studies Journal. I already showed you why. So it's a journal for real. You could fill this out if you found a website or something, but I avoid this any chance I can get. But notice it is trying to teach you how to do it, so it gives you suggestions and warning signs if you got something wrong, which is nice. But go to Quick Cite, copy and paste the citation towards the upper right-hand corner, paste what they give you, and it says do not assume the citation is correct. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a green plus button. Take a look. The authors, yes. The year is in parentheses, cool. Beyond Health, article title, the T is lowercase, so I got to change that because it's uppercase. But after a colon, it starts a new sentence, so that's good, and the rest are lowercase, good. All right, title of journal is all caps, but it's italicized, and I gotta fix the French here. They did not do that correctly. And I am not as familiar with French language as I am with Spanish, so I could be doing that wrong. Should sir be capitalized? I don't know. So my apologies. I'm going to have to look that up. Because Noodle Tools is only as good as you are. So if you copy and paste something, then it could be wrong if you don't check it, right? So you have to make those changes and confirm with the APA guide at OWL at Purdue, or just a citation manual in APA as long as it's the newest. So what I was doing there, though, is you have to go to the source because after pages, it says you need the DOI. And it was listed on the first page. So save. And what I'm looking for is that it should like link out. There should be a little box with an arrow. But I got the DOI. It's written wrong. And sometimes that happens. And that still didn't help. So what I'm going to do, because it is there, it's just I'm writing it incorrectly. Maybe this will fix it one last time. Okay, it's not linking out. So I see there's where I got the DOI from the bottom of the first page. I am going to copy and paste the link, the web address that was freely available on Google Scholar. I'm going to put it here, the URL. They don't want you to put it in the citation itself. They want the DOI. There we go. Now there's the square with the little arrow out, and so I can just link it. Oh, it's still not linking. Okay, so real quick, what I'm going to do, you can edit with the 3 buttons on the right, which are cut off in this screencast. There it is. Add an attachment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the PDF, select the files. Oh, and I don't know which one it is, and I don't want to keep you any longer with this video, so we'll cancel that. Save it. You would save it, but we don't have it, and cancel. And from there, you will have the little paper clip that says that you have an attachment. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to working with you in the future.